The Galactic Council chamber was never quiet. Hundreds of species filled the vast circular hall, their voices mixing into a constant low noise. Lights floated above crystal tables, and star maps glowed across the floor. This was the center of power in the galaxy. Wars had ended here. Civilizations had been judged here. Today, the Council waited for Earth. Many expected diplomats. Some expected apology ships. Others expected nothing at all. Humans were still new to the galaxy. Loud. Emotional. Dangerous in small, strange ways. But the Council believed humans would come with words. They always did in the end. Then the alarms began to sound. A deep tone echoed through the chamber. Not sharp. Not fast. Slow and heavy, like a warning from the universe itself. Conversation stopped. The star map at the center shifted, zooming outward to a single point in open space. A jump signature appeared. It was massive. Council analysts stared at their screens in silence. The readings made no sense. The object coming out of hyperspace was larger than any known diplomatic vessel. Larger than most battleships. Its energy output was calm, controlled, and terrifyingly stable. The jump ended. Something appeared in real space. It did not glow. It did not flash shields or send greeting signals. It simply existed. The warship was long and armored, its dark metal surface marked with scars and strange symbols. Engines burned low and steady, pushing out controlled streams of golden fire. The ship did not rush forward. It slowed, taking position just outside Council space, as if it owned the stars around it. Silence spread through the chamber. This is not a diplomatic ship," one Council member whispered. "No," another replied softly. "This is a weapon." Sensors reached out to scan the vessel. Many failed instantly. Others returned partial data that only deepened the fear. Layers of armor thicker than planetary defense stations. Power cores unlike anything in known science. Weapon systems that were present, but inactive. The ship was not attacking. That made it worse. "Is Earth declaring war?" a high-ranking delegate asked. "No transmission has been sent," an analyst replied. "No demands. No threats." The warship drifted slightly, correcting its position with small bursts of flame. Every movement was slow and deliberate. Confident. The Council realized something unsettling. The ship was not here to speak first. Across the galaxy, military outposts began to report the same thing. Sensors struggling. Communications lagging. Fear spreading faster than information. News channels showed the image of the human warship again and again. Each replay made it look larger, heavier, more real. On the bridge of the warship, humans stood at their stations. They were calm. Captain Elias Ward watched the main display without speaking. He did not wear ceremonial armor. No symbols of peace. Just a simple uniform marked with Earth's insignia. Around him, officers worked quietly, their movements practiced and controlled. "Position confirmed," the navigation officer said. "Hold," Ward replied. No one questioned the order. This was not a mission of speed. It was a mission of presence. Earth had debated this moment for years. Words had failed before. Treaties had been ignored. Warnings had been tested. The galaxy respected power, not promises. So Earth chose a different language. Back in the Council chamber, fear turned into argument. "This is intimidation," one member said. "It's an invasion waiting to happen," another argued. "But why haven't they fired?" a third asked. The warship answered none of them. Minutes passed. Then more. The ship remained still, engines burning softly like a restrained beast. Its weapons stayed silent. Its shields remained invisible but clearly active. At last, a signal light appeared on the council's main display. An incoming transmission. The chamber froze. Source, the speaker asked. Confirmed, an analyst said, voice tight. Human origin. The screen activated. There was no dramatic music. No flashing symbols. Just a human face, calm and serious, framed by the simple interior of the warship's bridge. The human looked directly into the camera. This is Captain Elias Ward of Earth, he said evenly. We have arrived. No greetings followed. No explanations. No apologies. The screen went dark. In the silence that followed, every member of the Galactic Council understood the same truth. Earth had not come to talk. And whatever happened next would change the galaxy forever. The moment the human transmission ended, the Galactic Council chamber exploded into chaos. Voices rose in panic. Translators struggled to keep up as dozens of species spoke at once. Some demanded an immediate military response. Others called for evacuation of council space. A few sat in complete silence, staring at the frozen image of the human warship still hanging in the air. They said nothing, one delegate hissed. That is a threat. It is worse than a threat, another replied. It is certainty. Across the galaxy, the image spread. Every major world received the same data packet. The same silent arrival. The same massive warship hovering like a shadow over interstellar space. No attack. No warning. Just presence. Fear moved faster than any ship ever could. Military commanders reviewed old records of humanity. They saw reports once ignored. Humans who survived impossible wars. Humans who rebuilt after near extinction. Humans who turned weakness into strength again and again. Earth was not known for having the biggest fleets. Earth was known for finishing fights. Sensors continued to scan the warship. The results only made things worse. The ship's core energy levels remained stable, as if it could fight for months without rest. Its weapons systems adjusted constantly, learning, adapting. Every second it stayed there, it understood more about the galaxy watching it. This ship is studying us, a council scientist said quietly. The realization chilled the chamber. On frontier worlds, civilian traffic slowed. Trade routes emptied. Smugglers and merchants chose long detours rather than pass anywhere near council space. Even pirate clans, normally fearless, went silent. No one wanted to be noticed while the human warship watched. Inside the council chamber, a final decision was forced. We must speak to them, the speaker said. Silence will only invite disaster. A formal transmission was prepared. Carefully chosen words. Respectful tone. Offers of dialogue and mutual understanding. The council activated the signal and sent it toward the human vessel. Seconds passed. Then minutes. No reply. On the bridge of the warship, Captain Ward watched the incoming message appear and fade. Do we acknowledge? An officer asked. Ward shook his head slowly. Not yet. The officers did not argue. They understood the plan. Humanity had learned something painful over centuries of conflict. When you speak too early, you lose power. Outside, the warship made a small movement. Its hull rotated slightly, revealing rows of sealed weapon ports. They remained closed, but the message was clear. The ship could act. And it was choosing not to. Back in the council chamber, the lack of response broke what little calm remained. Fear deepened into regret. Some species realized too late that they had pushed Earth too far. Trade sanctions. Military pressure. Empty threats. All of it had led to this moment. We thought they would send negotiators, one delegate whispered. Like everyone else. They did, another replied darkly. They sent one ship. That was the message. The warship's shadow stretched across the stars, both real and symbolic. It did not block routes. It did not fire weapons. Yet the galaxy felt smaller, tighter, as if the space itself had grown cautious. For the first time in a long while, the Galactic Council faced an opponent who did not need to speak loudly. Earth was speaking through silence. And the galaxy was listening. The silence could not last forever. Deep inside the Galactic Council chamber, the star map shifted again. The human warship had changed its energy pattern. Not an attack. Not a retreat. Something else. A new signal formed. "This one is different," a sensor officer said, voice shaking. "It's narrow. Direct." The transmission did not broadcast to the entire council at once. It locked onto the speaker's console alone, bypassing normal channels with frightening ease. That fact alone sent a wave of fear through the room. "They can choose who hears them," someone whispered. The speaker hesitated, then nodded. "Open it." The air above the console shimmered. Sound came first this time, before the image. A calm human voice. "We have received your message." The image followed. Captain Elias Ward appeared again, standing this time, hands behind his back. The bridge behind him was quiet, disciplined. No tension. No celebration. Just focus. "We did not respond earlier," Ward continued, "because you expected us to." The words hit harder than any threat. The speaker swallowed. "Then why are you here, Captain Ward?" Ward did not answer immediately. He looked slightly away from the camera, as if considering the galaxy beyond it. "For years," he said, "Earth asked to be heard. We sent warnings. We sent proposals. We sent diplomats." His eyes returned to the camera. "You ignored them." The chamber fell silent. Ward continued, his tone unchanged. "You tested our borders. You sanctioned our worlds. You assumed restraint meant weakness." A few council members shifted uncomfortably. Records flashed in their minds. Votes they had supported. Pressure they had approved. "This ship," Ward said, "is not here to conquer you." A pause. "It is here to remind you." The warship outside adjusted its position again. Power readings spiked briefly, just enough for every sensor in council space to notice. "Remind you of what?" many wanted to ask. Ward answered before the question could form. "Humanity does not survive by asking permission." The transmission ended. No explosions followed. No attack fleets jumped in. The warship returned to perfect stillness, as if nothing had happened. But the damage was done. Across the chamber, realization spread like a slow fire. Earth had not come to negotiate peace. It had come to reset the balance. To draw a line that could not be crossed again. On the warship's bridge, an officer exhaled quietly. "They heard that." Ward nodded. "They were always listening. They just needed a reason to understand." Outside, distant fleets hesitated at the edges of known space. Orders were drafted and deleted. No commander wanted to be the one who forced Earth to finish its sentence. The galaxy had expected diplomats. Instead, it had received a lesson. And this was only the beginning. The galaxy did not sleep that cycle. Across dozens of worlds, leaders replayed the human message again and again. Every word was calm. Controlled. And carefully chosen. It was not the voice of anger. It was the voice of a species that had already decided what came next. In the Galactic Council chamber, emergency records were opened. Old decisions resurfaced. Votes buried under years of routine politics now felt heavy with consequence. Earth's early requests appeared on the screens. Requests for fair trade access. Requests for shared exploration zones. Requests for protection against border raids. Each request had been delayed, debated, or dismissed. They were patient, one delegate said quietly. Longer than most. Yes, another replied. Until they weren't. The council finally began to understand something dangerous. Humanity had not arrived in fear. Humanity had arrived after fear. On the bridge of the warship, Captain Ward stood alone near the viewport. Beyond the thick glass, stars drifted slowly past. The galaxy looked peaceful from here. It always did, just before things changed. An officer approached. Captain, long-range scans show multiple fleets adjusting positions. None are advancing. Ward nodded. Good. They're waiting, the officer added. So are we, Ward replied. Earth's choice had been simple, though not easy. Words had failed. Symbols had been ignored. So humanity chose presence. Not violence. Not surrender. Silence. The warship itself was proof of intent. It did not need to fire to make its point. Every system aboard was designed for endurance, not spectacle. Human engineers had built it with one rule in mind: if war came, it would not end quickly. That knowledge alone was enough to slow the galaxy's hand. Back in the council chamber, the speaker finally addressed the room. We misjudged Earth, they said. We thought them young. Unstable. Easy to pressure. A pause followed. We were wrong. A proposal was drafted. Not a demand. Not an order. An offer. One that acknowledged Earth as an equal power, not a problem to manage. Before it was sent, the speaker hesitated. What if they don't respond? Someone asked. Then, the speaker answered, we will wait. The message was transmitted. This time, the reply came faster. On the warship, Captain Ward read the proposal in silence. His expression did not change. He turned to his officers. They're ready to listen now, he said. Do we answer? An officer asked. Ward looked back toward the stars. Yes. But on our terms. Outside, the warship's engines flared slightly brighter. Not a threat. Not a retreat. A signal. The galaxy held its breath. Because everyone now understood the truth. Earth did not need to shout. Earth only needed to arrive. The Galactic Council waited. For the first time in its long history, it did not argue, vote, or threaten. It waited. The human warship remained in position, silent and unmoving. Its engines burned at a steady level, like a calm heartbeat. Every sensor in Council space stayed locked on it, yet no one dared to push closer. The reply from Earth arrived without ceremony. No public broadcast. No dramatic announcement. Just a direct transmission to the Council speaker. Earth accepts dialogue, the message said. Under revised terms. The chamber released a collective breath it did not know it was holding. The speaker straightened. Open a channel. The image of Captain Elias Ward appeared once more. He looked exactly the same as before, calm, controlled, and unhurried. Behind him, the bridge crew worked in silence, disciplined and focused. You are willing to talk now, Ward said. It was not a question. Yes, the speaker replied carefully. We recognize Earth as an equal power. Ward nodded once. That is a start. Some council members shifted uncomfortably. They expected demands. Threats. Conditions enforced by fear. Instead, Ward continued evenly, this warship will remain here during negotiations. A ripple of tension spread through the chamber. Is that necessary? One delegate asked. Ward met the camera without anger. Yes. He let the silence work for him. This ship is not a threat, he said. It is a reminder. We will not be pressured again. We will not be ignored again. The council understood. The warship was not here to attack. It was here to stay, until respect was certain. Negotiations began that cycle. They were different from all others before. Earth did not beg. Earth did not rush. Humans spoke plainly. Trade routes were redrawn. Borders were clarified. Sanctions were lifted. Mutual defense terms were discussed, not demanded. For the first time, the galaxy negotiated with humanity instead of managing it. Outside the chamber, military fleets slowly stood down. Not because they were ordered to, but because no one wanted to test the warship that waited in silence. On the bridge, an officer glanced at the main display. "They're complying." Ward nodded. "They always could." "Why now?" the officer asked. Ward looked out at the stars. "Because fear gets attention. Respect keeps it." Days passed. Then weeks. The warship remained. Its presence became normal. Trade resumed. Travel lanes reopened. But something had changed. Every decision now included one silent question. How would Earth respond? At last, the Council sent a final message. "We accept Earth's terms," the speaker said. "The galaxy recognizes humanity's sovereignty." Ward listened. When the speaker finished, he nodded once more. "Then our mission is complete." The warship's engines powered up, not aggressively, but with purpose. Energy readings shifted. The massive vessel slowly turned away from Council space. A final transmission was sent to every major system in the galaxy. Earth's last words were simple. "We came so you would listen. Now that you do, we leave." The warship jumped to hyperspace. It vanished without fire, without destruction, without a single shot fired. Yet its impact remained. From that day forward, Earth was no longer seen as young or reckless. It was seen as something far more dangerous. A species that knew when to speak. A species that knew when to stay silent. And a species that never sent ambassadors. Until fear had already done their job.